Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday Namaste session. As always, it is so great to be here with you and to just spread our wings and fly. That's what we're doing. We're flying above this world separation itself and coming into the experience of being lifted. The experience. That's why we're here. We're not here to gain some intellectual anything, because any intellectual experience is so limited. We are moving past the mind altogether and expanding and awakening the deepest part of who we really are. So that being said, let's go ahead and I'm going to share a little bit that I wrote that I think will give us a good head start. Here we go. It says, why do you keep asking for everything when you can claim everything? Why would you keep asking for every little thing when you can claim everything? And the word everything is capitalized. What is truly yours has always been yours and cannot be taken away. What is truly yours. This is the one thing that you refuse to believe. You think that you need to connive and work to get something that you don't already have, or that you think that you don't have. And this is the very thing that keeps you from experiencing everything. What I give gladly. But you have to accept what is offered, otherwise it remains unclaimed. I love that. What I give gladly, but you have to accept what is offered. Otherwise, it remains unclaimed. And that's the truth. Holiness, grace, perfection, the light that shines so bright within each one of us is unclaimed unless we choose to receive it. Why lay on the floor fighting for morsels that fall off God's table when you've been invited to the feast? There's a seat of honor waiting for you, yet you're on the ground begging for scraps. That's what happens when we don't claim the truth of who we are. We're like a dog on the floor begging for scraps. All the while there's been a seat of honor at the table just waiting for us to claim. I'm asking you to strum your guitar with all your energy, not just pick it softly. I'm sharing good news with you. Aren't you excited? If not, then you haven't understood anything I am offering. I am offering you everything that is good and holy and true. I am ready to place it in your hands, but you keep them clenched in fists of rage. And what is it you're so upset about anyway? You've already won the game, yet you're too arrogant to look at the scoreboard. You've already survived the race, but you're too drunk to step over the finish line. Lay down the cheap wine you've been drinking and accept the cup I am offering. I promise that after one sip, you'll never be thirsty again. Such beautiful imagery. But it all comes down to claiming what is true, not just intellectually, but opening to an experience that is beyond everything of this world. And that's why it's so important for us to begin with the desire or the realization that there's nothing that I want in this world of form. The world holds nothing that I want. But beyond this world, there is a world that I want. But in order to get to that world, it's almost like we need the propulsion of denying the denial. Everything in perception is a denial of everything that is true. And so we need to actually deny that in order to be catapulted into the reality that we share. So I think I'm just going to stop there, and I'm going to turn it over to Vicki and see what Vicki has to share about that.
Hey, Jimmy.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. And I love that you're being really simple to one point. I love that. So the thing that struck me it's again on claiming. How do we claim something? We receive it. We rest into it. And the only thing that I am aware of, for me, the Holy Spirit directs us always not to direct him. How we are in a state of resting into everything. As we rest into love, as we claim that as who and what we are, and we stop trying to find anything else out, as we rest into it, not to give further direction to the Holy Spirit. Yes, I'm claiming it now. I'd like it to show up this way, that way, and the other way. That's like asking for something rather than accepting everything again. And claiming is a state of receiving. And what we're being invited to is receiving ourselves as the love that radiates and vibrates, as our experience, as our message, as who and what we are. So we rest into it again, and it is simple, and it is the totality, not separated little things that we see out in space and time, but the totality of being. And that's the discovery as we claim and rest into it every day. Because again, in resting, we're not directing to specific outcomes. We are open. And for me, that's the claim. And then we witness it expressing through us. As we're given to what our next step or what our next word is, we see it fall out of our lips or in front of our feet, wherever we find ourselves. So if we're going to receive everything, we need to receive wholly. And we receive wholly when we rest wholly. That's it.
Yeah, it's so simple. It keeps coming back to three words for me. And these were the words and the experience that I shared in Emissary of Light that I always keep coming back to, which are surrender, trust, and gratitude. We have to begin by surrendering completely, realizing that, as you said, Vicky, that it's not about trying to tell God what I need or want or deserve, but just coming with wholly empty hands, letting everything go and allowing it to be shown to me. And then to trust that there is an intelligence that is whole and complete, that is beyond this limited frame that I've accepted for myself, and that I can access that and I can trust that. It's going to give me everything that I need. And then to experience gratitude, no matter what, all along the way. And finally, those two merge together, surrender and trust, and I enter into that state of divine gratitude. And I think if we can just keep it that simple, that's all we're really doing in all of these lessons, is saying it in a very high, very, very elevated frequency that is so resonant with the truth of who we are, but is simple. It's not complex. It's not complicated. There's no deep theorem that we have to follow or even dogma. All we really need to do is to relax and open and allow. And if we can do that, then that's the same as claiming that which has always been true. How about you, Teddy? You want to share anything about that?
This is really big, actually. The nature of the Course is that we've forgotten who we are, and we made a mind in separation and opposition to what we are in truth. And what he says is giving and receiving are one in truth. So the action of the mind is to learn to how your mind works as Christ. So you learn to what he says is accept what has been given you to give, so as to receive more to give. Giving and receiving are one in truth, and God created us to give his love, and we're created just like him in the reception of the love is the giving of it, is the extending of it. The certainty that we received is that we give. The way we know we have is by giving. Yes. So he advises in this world to begin with anything that you have in your hands, physically, anything that you have been given, to give of what you have received so as to learn how Christ's mind works in reality. And we're duplicating the action of our mind here, and that opens us up to the flow of what we are in reality, so that there is no separation, there is no difference. We begin to live here as God created us to be in reality, simply because this was a condition of forgetting what we are in reality, and in the duplication of it through the simple act of giving what we have been given, we receive more so as to continue to give. And it works with absolutely everything and anything. And the truth is, at the end of it, you don't need anything, because you know you have everything, and everything's always been given in order for you to do what you're here to do. And it gets really simple, but it really is listen, learn, and do something to correct the error. The error here is corrected in the action of giving here. Whatever it is you have, you give, you share. Sharing is what reality is. We share everything in reality. So the willingness to share anything and everything here begins to restore our mind to the nature that it was created as in reality by God, who only gives.
You know, that reminds me of a beautiful story that was told by one of my heroes, Dorothy Day. She was a great peace activist, and she was the founder of the Catholic Worker Movement. And she said, expressing exactly what Teddy was sharing, she said, let's say you need to get from New York to Chicago, and the ticket to do this costs $100, but you only have $20. So what do? You give the $20 away. You find someone who needs it more, and you just give it to them. And then suddenly, somehow, $40 shows up for you. And you go to God and you say, that's not enough. So you give the $40 away. You find someone who needs that, and you give it away. And suddenly, somehow, $80 shows up and just pops in your lap. And you say, nope, that's still not enough. I need $100. You have to give the 80 away until finally 100. And this is the foolishness of God. And, I'm doing this course on St. Francis coming up, and my favorite module is going to be on God's foolishness and being a holy fool. And that's such a good example. Just keep giving it away, even when it just doesn't make any sense.
I think he says it in the course. You give what you need to receive.
Yeah.
That's it.
Doesn't make any sense, but it makes total sense.
Well, it's exactly opposite of the world that's based on accumulation and ownership to prove that you are something here. But who cares what you are here? Everybody's here already. The idea that you need to prove anything at all is the certainty that you don't believe that you're what you are anyway. So
say that again. That's so important.
I don't even know what I said. The idea that you go on, you say it. The idea that you need
to prove anything.
Right. The idea that you need to prove anything at all, it means that you don't know you don't believe it, and you don't know what you have.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what you are. I mean, the
proof. You know who you are. There's nothing to prove, because
that's right. There's nothing to, because you're everything.
You're everything.
You are everything that you were created to be, and no matter what it is, it's got to be sufficient. Because if it's sufficient to God, you are sufficient into your own reality.
Wow, that is very, very high teaching. Now we just have to receive it. Now we have to accept it. We have to claim it.
And the proof of the acceptance is in the giving.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
The proof that you have received it is when you can give it away, because then you're not concerned about possession. You're concerned about the action of mind that allows you to be one with what you are in reality, and therefore one with everything, including God.
Wow. I love that. Beautiful. Vicki, you want to share anything else about that?
No, that's it. Keep giving it away.
Just keep giving it away.
Yeah, that's the whole lesson right there. Just keep giving it away.